Good evening, Belize. It's Thursday, and you're watching News 5. I'm Sabrina Daly. Tonight, growing unease inside the nation's transport hubs. Terminal workers sounding the alarm, and CEO Chester Williams firing back. Also, major changes on the horizon. A $2 million overhaul for Novelo's bus terminal. In the courts, fallout at SFXCU. The High Court weighing in, upholding the management shakeup that stirred controversy. Plus, a drug sweep in Mexico, in Maxborough that is, turns up multiple parcels of cocaine. What investigators say they discovered on the property. And an iconic tradition gets a sudden change. The Ruta Maya finish line moved. Fans pushing back tonight. These stories and more straight ahead. News 5 starts now.
Forward-thinking farmer ready to adopt climate-smart practices? The future of farming is resilient, sustainable, and profitable, and we're here to help you achieve just that. Whether cultivating half an acre or 200 acres, DFC offers affordable financing options and a matching grant up to $12,000 for Window 1 and up to $60,000 for Window 2 to help make your farm climate-smart, withstand unpredictable weather patterns, and adapt practices that enhance productivity and efficiency. This program is ideal for farmers and cooperatives. Women farmers are highly encouraged to take advantage. Join us in creating a resilient and sustainable agricultural future for Belize. Apply now and take the next step towards a stronger, greener tomorrow.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome back. The government's push to create a single national bus company hasn't even left the station yet, but it's already running into turbulence, this time from inside the public service. Terminal workers who keep the country's bus hubs running say they've been blindsided. According to the Public Service Union, staff were recently told that once the national system rolls out, their jobs could be on the chopping block. PSU President Dean Flowers claims some workers were even warned to submit resignations by Friday, a message that immediately set off alarms across the labor movement. But the Ministry of Transport is calling foul. In a statement today, the ministry rejected the idea that anyone has been ordered to resign. It says no such directive exists and stresses that the transition to a national bus system must follow the law. Officials also reveal that a 4-month transition period is being proposed and insist that no final decision about staffing have been made. Still, unions aren't backing off. They're gearing up for a fight, arguing that public officers shouldn't be asked to sacrifice their livelihoods for a restructuring they had no hand in designing. Transport CEO Chester Williams says the ministry is sticking strictly to Belizean law and taking every step to manage the shift responsibly. Here's how he put it.
There is no truth to them telling the terminal workers that they must resign by Friday of this week. what was instructed to them, and from what I have gathered from them, is that they met with the terminal workers, explained to them what is taking place, and gave them the options that are available to them. Now remember that the National Bus Company is going to need employees and will need employees at the terminal as well. And so what we want to do is to make sure that we have a transition period between the 1st of March and the end of August, whereby those persons who are currently employed at the terminal, and even those who are employed at the various bus companies that now form part of the National Bus Company, they will be brought on board with the National Bus Company, and they will have that 4 months period where they can decide if they want to remain with the company, or if for some reason they don't meet the criteria for employment, then we'll have to find ways for the terminal workers. How are we going to settle with them?
With the National Bus Company set to launch on March 1st, the spotlight is shifting from policy to people, and specifically to the terminal workers now caught in the middle of the transition. Even as government promotes a 4-month rollout plan, employees say they're only now learning how the change could affect their jobs, raising fresh questions about timing and transparency. That concern has fueled union pushback and heightened public scrutiny. So we asked Transport CEO Chester Williams whether this all feels a little last minute for the workers involved. Here's that exchange.
It will not lead to any delay, because then remember I said that we have the 4 months transition period. So the law dictates that we must do it within a month time. We are giving it 4 months, right? So they are being informed now, and then we have the 4 months period within which for them to be able to decide their mind exactly what they want to do, and then we see how we go from there.
And having foreseen that this had to be addressed?
I didn't get you.
Meaning that this is kind of like last minute. Yes, you say you have that transition period of 4 months, but I believe that for those employees, it would have been good to have known about this before.
But Marisol, the talk of the National Bus Company has been in the public domain for almost a year now. And again, we could not prematurely say exactly what would happen, because we had to wait to ensure that we have all the different companies who were going to form part of the National Bus Company sign on to the National Bus Company. We're just finalizing that between last week and this week, where they are now signing the subscription to join on to the National Bus Company. So with them signing on now, we are certain in terms of where we're going. Hence the reason it is now the appropriate time for us to go to the employees and say to them, this is what is going to happen. And again, we are still well within the ambit of the law, which says 1 month. We are giving it 4 months. So I believe that we're on good footing where that is concerned.
As questions linger over how the National Bus Company rollout will affect terminal workers, the government is now pointing to a major investment aimed at strengthening the very infrastructure those employees help operate. Transport CEO Chester Williams says Cabinet has approved $2 million to overhaul the Belize City terminal and another $700,000 for upgrades already underway in Belmopan. Long-term improvements, he argues, will raise safety standards and boost government's equity in the new national system. Here's how he described the upgrades.
Spending $2 million on the Belize City terminal is not a band-aid fix at all. That is extensive repair and retrofitting. The terminal in Belize City, the current terminal, is going to be brought to human standards. That's the reason why we get that amount of money approved. And with the upgrades in the terminal, that increases the government equity in the national bus company, because remember, as Minister have said, what the government is putting into the company are the terminals across the country. So the fact that we are retrofitting these terminals, the cost for them increases. Likewise in Belmopan, putting in $700,000 into Belmopan terminal is not a band-aid fix either. And I wish you would take a visit to the Belmopan terminal to see the upgrade that has been done in the first half of the terminal, and report to the Belizean people the comfort and the luxury that you will be seeing when you visit the Belmopan terminal. Come tomorrow and see the work that is taking place there. It is totally transformed. Look nice. You enter there, you don't want to leave. It's comfortable, and that's what we want for the terminals.
Williams says those multi-million-dollar upgrades aren't cosmetic at all, but part of a long-term push to make bus terminals safer, more comfortable, and a stronger asset within the new national transit system. A Belizean man with alleged cartel ties is picked up in Houston. Why local authorities say this arrest matters. Coming up next.
Rotavirus is a leading cause of severe watery diarrhea and vomiting in young children. It can lead to dangerous dehydration and hospital visits. The good news? The rotavirus vaccine is now available countrywide. It is given in drops at 2, 4, and 6 months of age. Protect your child. Visit your nearest health clinic today.
That's me. My data done, and I really need to get my order out today.
Really?
Well, you can join our Smart Group plan.
Really? How that work?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart Group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
The Civil Registry Department and Vital Statistics Unit offers correction and birth amendment services to correct information on your certificates. Correction services are meant to fix typos and similar errors. Birth amendment services allow for changing a child's name within the first year of registration, as well as adding or removing the father's details from the birth certificate. Who can apply? Any life event participant involved, such as bride or groom for marriage record corrections, mother, father, or child over 18 for birth record corrections, either the mother or father depending on the type of birth amendment. A person authorized can also apply once they have an authorization form. The new CRVS, digitally connecting citizens to all vital statistics services. Visit our website at crvs.gov.bz today to access our services.
What happens when you step off the edge?
Too late to back out now. He said I'm ready. No, I'm not.
And land somewhere unexpected. Sometimes it breaks you open. Wild at root,
That is very bitter.
but sweet on the tongue. Where history calls out, and you answer with open arms. This isn't just a journey, it's across borders.
That was amazing!
February is all about Honda. Get special pricing and discounts on all Honda products. Enjoy up to 25% off select Honda products and 20% off Honda parts. Don't forget your B-Bucks whenever you make a purchase. Love your Honda is all about deals and discounts on Honda products throughout the month of February. Only at Benquip Equipment Parts Service.
The High Court has sided with the Central Bank of Belize, ruling that the dismissal of former St. Francis Xavier Credit Union General Manager Rafael Dominguez was lawful, fair, and well within the Registrar of Credit Unions' authority. The decision delivered on February 19th ends a 2-year dispute that began when investigators uncovered major administrative and operational failings at the Corozal-based credit union. Those findings triggered the appointment of an interim administrator in 2023 and eventually Dominguez's removal in May 2024. Dominguez challenged the move, calling it disproportionate and procedurally flawed, while also claiming more than $800,000 in severance and contract benefits. But the High Court didn't buy it. The judge ruled that the registrar acted within the law, gave Dominguez a fair chance to respond, and provided adequate reasons for letting him go. Most of Dominguez's compensation claims were thrown out, though the court did say he is entitled to severance under SFXCU's internal rules. The administrator must now recalculate that figure. The central bank says the ruling reinforces its mandate to safeguard the credit union sector and assures members that oversight and inspections will continue. The Social Security Board is looking to make a pair of major investments totaling $16 million. And tonight we take a closer look at what that means for contributors. One of those investments is a $6.2 million move into Belize Electricity Limited, an offer that comes with a $1 million discount and the promise of more than $3 million in interest over 10 years. But with BEL reporting nearly $10 million in losses in 2024, is this a smart play for SSB? Public Relations Manager Vanessa Veos walked us through the board's thinking.
So as you know, in terms of debentures are different from shares. So if a business is not successful, they still have to pay the debentures. The beautiful thing about this particular investment is that when we get the monies back, we will get back the face value of this investment of $7 million plus, right? Even though we paid at a discounted rate. The country's economy is growing, and there is this increase in demand for electricity. So BEL in the past has had very healthy profits, and with a growing economy and the fact that demand will keep growing, then it makes sense. It's a safer kind of investment to make because there isn't a rival competing electricity provider in the market. It's only BEL.
One may argue that BEL has actually reported millions of dollars in loss in previous financial reports. Is this a smart decision?
The fact that they had, struggled recently does not negate the fact that for many years they had very healthy profits. And the kind of investment that we have made, like I mentioned before, when you have a company and I have an ordinary share, I'm not going to get paid if, let's say, that company is struggling. We don't anticipate that BEL will continue to struggle because, like I mentioned, the economy is growing. We invested monies from our excess. BEL takes that money and they look at what can they do to improve their operations so that they can continue their trend.
As the Social Security Board defends its planned multi-million-dollar investment in BEL, the board is also moving ahead with another major proposal, a $10 million term deposit in Heritage Bank. The 2-year investment, set at a fixed annual interest rate of 2.7%, is projected to earn the fund over $500,000. So how does this second investment strengthen SSB's long-term sustainability? That's the question we put to Public Relations Manager Vanessa Veos.
This term deposit investment of $10 million is a very liquid investment, number one. It's a short period of time for 2 years, and we should earn at the end of 2 years overall, in addition to getting back our principal, which would be the $10 million, $550,000 we would receive at the end of 2 years. Previous to this investment, the Social Security Board had invested already in term deposits with the Atlantic Bank and the National Bank, and those investments performed quite well. And so the thought was, well, let's diversify a little bit more and let us check out if there are other banks in the industry that we can also invest with them. And Heritage Bank was offered that type of opportunity, and that is the reason why the Social Security Board decided, let's try and do the analysis and figure out if it makes sense for us to invest with the Heritage Bank. They did the analysis, and it went through, rounds of vetting, and they decided, yes, this is a good investment. It is a help as it relates to expanding, or maybe I should say better, increasing the fund. You might say, oh, it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but we don't just, we have plans to further diversify our investments. This was an opportunity that came up in 2025. And so we decided to go with this particular investment. So you could look at it and say, on the one hand, if you had some balancing scales, 10 million stays in the fund, no investment, or 10 million plus 550,000 at the end of 2 years, that makes sense because now we are making an effort towards fund sustainability.
And as the Social Security Board outlines why it believes the Heritage Bank investment strengthens the fund, we also heard directly from Heritage Bank's managing director, Stephen Duncan. He says SSB's $10 million deposit will immediately help expand the bank's lending program. Support, he believes, will flow right back to the very contributors whose money makes these investments possible.
Social Security Board has a ton of money, and it is one of the few entities where you have to give them money by law. And so they generate all these monies, and so they try to get them in the banking system, safe deposits, etc., and they spread it around. They don't want to have it in any one bank where if that bank should stumble and have a problem, so they spread it. And we are part of that, and we welcome it because those are the monies that we are able to use to on-lend to the same people who contribute to Social Security Board.
Is this investment in terms of guarantee of return from the bank?
Well, it's like any other depositor. Your money is, when you put your deposit in a bank, you don't lose your deposit unless the whole bank go down. Because if a bank gives a bad loan, the loan go bad, the payment for that comes out of the bank pocket, That come out of the bank's profits, not out of your deposit. You still don't get your deposit when you go for it. When you go withdraw from your savings account, the money is still there. That's how it works. So effectively, the bank, it's one of the reasons interest rates on banks' deposits are not very high, because of the greater confidence around it as compared to when you invest directly in, say, a stock market or you buy shares.
Duncan says that by spreading its deposits across multiple banks, SSB helps keep those funds secure while allowing Heritage Bank to lend that same money right back to the contributors who need it most. Police in Sand Hill Village carried out a special operation on Wednesday, and it led to a major drug discovery in the Maxborough area. According to investigators, officers were sweeping through the community when they stumbled upon 4 parcels of cocaine. Altogether, the drugs weighed just over 4,385 grams. That's just under 10 pounds. But that wasn't all. Police say they also found an additional 109 grams of cocaine in the same vicinity, bringing the total seizure even higher. Authorities have not yet indicated who may be responsible for the stash, but the investigation is ongoing. The arrest of Belizean national Benigno Loria in Houston is now raising uncomfortable questions about just how deeply transnational criminal networks may be reaching into Belize. U.S. immigration authorities detained Loria on Tuesday, and while American law enforcement sources outline link him to the violent Jalisco New Generation cartel, Belizean officials have not confirmed those ties. Still, the news has reignited long-standing fears about cartel influence in the region. Former Commissioner of Police Chester Williams told us today that Loria didn't appear out of nowhere. He had been on Belize's radar for some time because of suspected connections to organized groups in Mexico. A reminder, he says, of why cross-border cooperation remains critical in keeping Belize's security landscape stable.
I don't want to comment much about it at this time, but certainly, yes, he was on our radar, and we have indeed gathered information that he was connected to one of the cartel groups in Mexico. And so when I saw the news that he was captured, it was no surprise to me. He fled Belize for whatever reason, and he went to the US. I believe he was seeking asylum. I am not sure how far he got with that. But like you rightly reported, he is now in the custody of the U.S. authorities, and it's a matter for them to deal with now.
Williams says Loria's capture comes as no surprise to law enforcement here, given that Belizean authorities had already linked him to a Mexican cartel long before U.S. agents took him into custody. Coming up, City Hall opens its doors, hosting a town hall on major upgrades. What's changing and how it could affect you. But first, here's the latest weather update from the Belize Met Service.
Cayo, we have exciting news for you. RFNG Life Insurance is now officially in your town. Now, you can visit our office to pay your life insurance premiums or speak to our dedicated agent, Mayeli, about securing your future with the right coverage.
Hi, my name is Mayeli Hoy, your designated agent here at RFNG Life in the Cayo District. I'm here to help you explore your options, answer your questions, and find the perfect policy for you and your loved one.
Whether you're looking for life insurance, critical illness coverage, or future saving plans, we've got you covered. Take the first step towards securing a stable and prosperous financial future for you and your family. RFNG Life Insurance, now in Cayo. Visit us today or call to schedule an appointment. Your future starts here.
Need a fresh new kitchen, flip that switch ignition. GE appliances shine. Every knob, every line, all align and turn the shower on. Feel gold, colder in the chrome. So bold from the tiles to the tiny screws. We've got the wow you choose. All in one place, Design Depot. Everything you need for the life you want. Let's go. From the floor to the paint to the patio glow. Build it up, light it up. Watch your dream home grow. All in one place. All in one place. All in one place. All in one place. All in one place.
Design Depot. All in one place.
My name is Carlton Jack Young, and I've been fishing in these waters for over 40 years. I used to work fishing from I was about 15 years old. I was the #1 fisherman for the Cove for many years. I was a member of the Fishery Advisory Board who makes decisions on these fishing areas.
Fishermen like Jack Young can tell you about a time when it seemed Belize's bounty was never ending.
And when we get alongside the boat and we check, we had 100 mutton snappers.
But he can also tell you about the alarming differences in the number of available reef fish, such as the Nassau grouper, from then to now.
The fishermen, they go out there and they sit there for hours before they could catch some of them. They are not there like they used to.
Nassau groupers reproduce between the months of December and March. To ensure a good catch the following season, fishing of Nassau groupers is closed during the spawning season and carefully regulated the rest of the year. During the open fishing season, Nassau groupers must be landed whole and may not be less than 20 inches or greater than 30 inches. In Belize, there are 13 spawning aggregation sites where Nassau groupers and other reef fish are protected. These are Rocky Point, Mauga Key, Dog Flea, Key Buckell, Northern Two Key, Sandbore, South Point, Key Glory or Emily, Northeast Point, Gladden Spit, Nicholas Key, Seal Key, and Rise and Fall Bank. Consumers have a part to play as well. By declining to purchase the critically endangered Nassau grouper, especially non-regulation size, you help ensure populations have a chance to restock. By adhering to regulations and protecting spawning sites, we can support fish stock replenishment and the livelihoods of future fishermen.
If they do it the right way, we might have it for a little longer. But if they don't do proper control, we'll lose it entirely.
Have a vision? We've got what you need. From idea to install, Brothers Habet, all your building needs under one roof.
Easy. Accessible. Safe. Yours. Digi Wallet. Easy, accessible, safe, yours.
For the first time in almost 30 years, the La Ruta Maya Belize River Challenge is shaking up its finish, and the ripple effects are already being felt. Instead of ending at the iconic Belcan Bridge, paddlers will now cross the finish line at the Grand Resort near Halover Bridge. Organizers insist the change boosts safety and crowd control. But longtime spectators and vendors say the move cuts into the very tradition and livelihood the race has built over decades. News 5's Paul Lopez has the story behind the shift and the storm it's stirring.
It's the biggest shakeup to La Ruta Maya in nearly 3 decades, and it's already turning heads. The race committee has decided to move the iconic finish line from Belcan Bridge to the Grand Resort near the Halover Bridge. Vice Chair Roberta Harrison confirmed the switch to News 5 today, setting off fresh debate about what this change means for the legendary River Challenge.
It's final that the full leg of the race will finish at Grand Resort. After quite a bit of debate and back and forth, the decision is final.
According to Harrison, the safety and security of spectators are among the primary driving force behind the decision to change the finish line's location.
And that can't be overlooked when you have an open space where anything can flare up in terms of the natural course of things that happen in these big events. So we said that we had to do it, and I think that is final as far as the race committee is concerned.
But what does this change mean for the hundreds of spectators that traditionally view the ending of the race on the Belcan Bridge and inside the Belize Civic Center compound free of cost? Well, an entrance fee will be charged at the Grand Resort.
Keeping the police force in place at all levels perhaps is a very costly one for us, and I think we will, and I don't have the final figure here for what it will cost to get in there, but same way that we recover some of the costs at Barrel Boom, the same will be done at that Grand Resort. No?
A News 5 Facebook poll shows the public strongly rejecting the finish line change. By 2 this afternoon, more than 1,100 people had voted, and 93% said they opposed the move. Only 51 supported it, while 32 were undecided. But the controversy doesn't stop there. Race day vendors in the Belize River Valley are also frustrated, this time over a Forest Department rule that requires them to buy a $100 permit to sell game meat.
The people who are going to go and sell game meat for Ruta Maya need to come into the Forest Department and get a dealer's permit that will actually allow them to legally be selling game meat for Ruta Maya, but they still need to respect the close season.
We spoke with one vendor who has decided not to sell her food during this year's race after participating in the event since its inception.
From back then, I sold my food. We could have cooked anything, game meat, any game meat, their meat, give nut, hikiti, anything, and because that's what the people come out to look for. And we never had to pay no fee then. We never had to pay no permit fee for nothing, and nobody used to come harass me. right? This harassment started behind when it went to Henderson Bank. Police can check, see if you have Hickory and all kind of thing, right? And from then they start with that. But we never had no problem before. We couldn't sell anything, right? And the stall fee was only $50 then. Now they raised the stall fee. Last year we paid $150 from $75. Then we raised it to $75. Then they went to $150 last year. Now when I called and they said that the fee is now $100, so they drop it back down, but they still drop it to where it was.
The vendor argues organizers want to boost profits without factoring in rising food costs. And with the Finish Line moving to the Grand Resort, what happens to the vendors who've long relied on selling at the traditional Belize City endpoint?
They will be allowed to go in there. That is not an issue. I mean, just like how they do it at Barrel Boom, just like how they do it at Banana Bank, just like how they do it at Double Hill Cabbage, same conditions will be applied using the Grand Resort. At the end of the day, traditions sometimes have to be changed in the interest of success. No? So at least that's how I see it.
The Hullover Bridge is the main gateway into Belize City along the Philip Coulson Highway, and some worry the new Finish Line could snarl traffic on race day. Harrison says the committee will leave those traffic concerns to the experts, the Traffic Department, and the Belize Police Department. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
As the La Ruta Maya River Challenge faces resistance over its biggest route change in nearly 3 decades, race organizers now find themselves defending long-standing questions about what the event truly stands for. Critics argue the iconic River Challenge has drifted from its roots, shifting away from environmental awareness and community tradition toward revenue-driven decisions, a sentiment amplified by the new Finish Line relocation and stricter vending requirements already stirring frustration among spectators and vendors. We put that broader concern directly to Committee Vice Chair Roberto Harrison, who insists the race hasn't lost its purpose. Here's how he responded.
No, I don't think so. I mean, and I've been in this race for 29 years, minus the COVID one. I don't think we have ever shied away, even from the original creators, that the environment or bringing awareness of the environment was an essential part of the whole. It's more than just a race. We have definitely brought that awareness, that attention, that there's a lot of activities going on along the river. There's a lot of garbage being thrown into the river. There's a lot of agricultural development being done down to the banks of the river. So at least I think we have maintained that momentum. And I will admit, and I've said this in all interviews that I have possibly done, that perhaps, yes, we need to do more from a committee standpoint, but it will take another committee, so to speak, to address those issues of, in particular, the environment. We would have to partner with government and other NGOs that share the same idea and again the love of the Belize River.
As organizers defend the race's mission, Harrison says they've never strayed from highlighting the river's environmental challenges, even if he admits there's still more work to do. Belize City residents are dodging potholes the size of craters, and motorists say the streets feel more like obstacle courses than roads. But City Hall insists help is finally on the way. The Belize City Council says it's steadily working toward its goal of rehabilitating 150 streets each term. And today, Deputy Mayor Elud Miller urged residents to be patient as crews push ahead with ongoing repairs.
We also have Iguana Street in the Collett constituency, which is underway as well. We have Arlington Drive in the Port Loyola constituency, which is underway. It's received the first coat of chip and seal. And so we're very much happy about how that project has been coming along as well. And then there's Lakeview and Seagull, which were rehabilitated just a few days ago, actually, in the Queen Square division. And then we have Western Avenue, which is something that I am personally excited about. We have Western Avenue is being rehabilitated at this time as well. That started last week. And so I know at the moment they're working on the drainage, and then they'll actually start with the street works, no? But very much excited about that. As you know, again, a critical artery into and out of the Lake Independence area, no? And so that really highlights some of the major infrastructural projects we have ongoing.
As City Hall pushes ahead with street repairs across Belize City, from Iguana Street to Western Avenue, residents will soon have a chance to weigh in on even bigger projects reshaping the old capital's infrastructure. The Belize City Council has scheduled a town hall to update the public on plans for the George Price Highway upgrade and the replacement of both the Swing Bridge and Belkin Bridge. And Deputy Mayor Elude Miller says the session will help residents understand how the works will affect them and what rerouting to expect.
Coming out of that meeting, one of the suggestions shared was that we should have a public consultation to share this with the wider community, share all the details of these three projects with the wider community, so that they know exactly what to suspect or what to expect, as these are major projects that will, to some extent, impact their day-to-day navigation of the city while these projects are being executed. And so again, I must give thanks to MIDH for their partnership. We're very excited about these projects. They will certainly be beneficial to the city and to our residents, and that is what remains at the forefront for us.
As Balama residents press for answers on the future of El Salaso Street, City Hall is juggling another community concern, this time tied to major infrastructure projects already in motion across Belize City. Deputy Mayor Elude Miller says the petition over the Balama roadway is now before the Ministry of Natural Resources, even as the council prepares to brief the wider public on major upgrades, including the replacement of the Swing Bridge and Belkin Bridge, at an upcoming town hall meant to help residents understand how the works will affect their daily routines.
A petition was submitted that was shared with us at the city. I know that the Ministry of Natural Resources was looking at this case specifically, but I would not have much of an update at this time. I would need to do some follow-up, and then I could share some more information with you. I'm very much familiar with the area. I'm very much familiar with the case. In fact, a number of residents have reached out to me pertaining to that case before the petition was submitted. And so I keep in tune with the area representative in that regard as well. And so that area, as I understand it, was designated to be a street. And in that case, some private owners got title to those lands ahead of the 2020 elections. And the residents have communicated their interest in having that area remain for a street, right? And they would like to have that street in their immediate community. And we support them in that position.
Miller says he'll be following up with the ministry, noting that residents remain determined to keep El Salaso as a public street, a position City Hall fully supports. New climate financing is on the table, aimed at boosting Belize's sugar industry. How the support could sweeten the sector's future. Stay tuned.
connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
Tomorrow on Open Your Eyes, we sit down with Melvin Bessie Cortez for a courageous conversation on navigating the path to legal citizenship and what it's truly like living as a transgender person in Belize. Now this is a story you'll need for here. Then we meet the mentors training the new generation of Pee Wee basketball athletes and learn what it takes to build discipline and opportunity through sport. Next, we explore how the Belize City Council is inviting new youth leadership with the Youth Shadow Council and find out how are young voices stepping into governance. And in special regional focus, we speak with Assad Schumann to unpack the history, politics, and realities behind ongoing U.S. policies and what they mean for the Caribbean in a discussion called Cuba Under Pressure. What's really behind U.S. measures. Plus, we spotlight entrepreneurship with the Sandhill Village Council's Market Day as they support the local community. Tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. on Open Your Eyes and start your morning right.
Belize is transforming the way taxes are managed with the Semi-Autonomous Revenue Authority, a modern system built on flexibility, efficiency, and accountability. SAR will have its own human resource policies, ensuring faster hiring, fairer opportunities, and competitive pay that rewards performance. The SARA will also manage its own budget, making it easier to fund what matters most: better technology, improved taxpayer services, and stronger enforcement when needed. With this flexibility comes responsibility. Independent audits, public reports, and parliamentary oversight will ensure full transparency. SARA's transparency, flexibility, and efficiency will ensure smarter decision-making, better taxpayer service, and responsible use of public funds. SARA, flexibility to serve you better, accountability to serve you right.
Finally, a postpaid plan for 3 people. Introducing Smart Trio. Why pay for mobile service alone when you can share and save? Get unlimited national calls, text, plus 100 gigabytes of shared data. And the best part? It's only $135. That's right, as low as $45 per person. Perfect for small families, couples, or close friends. Smart Trio. 3 lines, 1 smart choice. Sign up now and you could win a Trio getaway to San Pedro for 3. Visit us at www.smart-bz.com for more information or sign up at any showroom today. Smart, bringing people together.
Sugarcane farmers in the north are getting a sweet boost in the form of a multi-million-dollar climate resilience package. In San Jose Palmar Village, Orange Walk District, local and regional stakeholders came together to kick off the BACSUF initiative, short for building the adaptive capacity of sugarcane farmers in northern Belize. News 5 was there and Shane Williams reports.
In the heart of cane country, industry leaders, government officials, and international partners came together to discuss the future of the industry. The BACSUF project is being implemented by the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, 5Cs, with a $25 million grant funding from the Green Climate Fund, GCF. Its aim is to help farmers adapt to a changing climate.
This project is funded by the GCF with grant funding, 25 million, 13 million co-financing. And it's meant to focus on the farmers and making sure access to the farmers is met. So how the project was designed and structured, it's the GCF comes in and de-risks the investment. So in the project, we actually fund the mechanism to give the seeds to the farmers so that risk is alleviated and they get the funding for the seeds to begin that process. And also the training is encompassed within that, and not only just the seed provision and the training, but to create that market mechanism and to make sure that the process is climate smart, so that there's continuity after the project, which is about 5 years.
The GCF supports climate adaptation and mitigation projects across developing countries, and representatives say BACSUF underscores that mission by targeting one of Belize's most climate vulnerable industries. Project manager Daryl Ardinet explained that the initiative rests on 3 main pillars.
Right now, the industry is about 70% of one variety. So what that means is that we're dependent on one variety being successful. That component of the project is the main one. What we're looking is from a menu of 11 varieties, we want to be able to replant 10,000 acres. That would allow us to have diversity within the industry. And as you know, diversity means that you have a better sustainability within an industry. That's one of the objectives. The second objective is looking at introducing irrigation and soil management, very critical components to any industry. The sugarcane industry is a rain-fed industry, and so what that means is that we're dependent on the rains. What we want to do is to introduce new technology, irrigation systems that would allow us to be more predictable in terms of the growth process. Soil health is another important element under that component, and so we need to rejuvenate our soils, because generations upon generations of cane farmers have been planting on the same soils, and so the idea of this component is to add biologicals, rejuvenate the soils, and then the last component of it is a major component, is looking at the transformation of the industry from both a technological standpoint but in terms of practice, agronomic practice.
Ryan Zuniga, Senior Project Coordinator at 5Cs, spearheaded the proposal. He says success will be measured not only by acreage replanted, but by improved yields, stronger farmer incomes, and long-term resilience against droughts and floods.
As the executing entity, the 5Cs ensure that all the deliverables and output of the project are realized. So the project has several investment activities, and so the 5Cs work with other partners to ensure that that comes to fruition on the ground.
How will you all ensure that the farmers on the ground, the most vulnerable, are the ones who benefit?
That's a very good question. So this project was developed by the farmers for the farmers. So the entire design of the project took into consideration how we could ensure that the farmers benefited fully from the investment. So for example, what we saw today was the varieties. These varieties were developed so that the farmers are able to have seeds actually free of charge. So these seeds are going to be paid for by the project and used as a method to subsidize the replanting costs of the farmers.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Economic Transformation, Dr. Osman Martinez, says oversight and additional support mechanisms will be rolled out simultaneously with the BACSUF project.
What we are looking at, or what has been approved by Cabinet, is $120 million for the next 5 years, so as to help with farmers' debt. So the farmers are highly indebted, so there is very limited to no cash flow whereby they can continue to invest into the industry. The second point is replanting. While 40% of the industry will enjoy that replanting under this program, we also have issues that we have 60% that we will need to continue to facilitate through a loan system to the farmers whereby they can continue to do replanting.
The hope is that by combining international climate financing with local expertise and farmer participation, the BACSUF project will not only safeguard Belize's sugar industry, but future-proof it. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
Belize is earning regional praise for its strong push for climate financing, with the Green Climate Fund calling it one of the Caribbean's most active countries. GCF Representative Candice Gabriel says Belize has moved from plans to action, rolling out real adaptation projects and even supporting indigenous groups to manage climate funds themselves. That momentum is clear in the Sugar Belt too, where partners launched the multi-million-dollar Backstuff project to help northern cane farmers withstand climate impacts. Gabriel says Belize's leadership is now setting the pace for the region.
Belize has been quite active with the GCF and we have been very supportive. In terms of farming, this is just one of two, but this one is unique because it's for sugarcane farmers in Belize. There's another farming project that just finished as well, that the market mechanisms for farming in different areas in North, Central and South Belize. We have some other projects that we are working with the government on with other agencies, and we hope that that could come into fruition, and that's part of our purpose here. And our mission in Belize is to listen to all the stakeholders, especially the country, because all projects have to be country-led. So the government is our key stakeholder.
I understand there may be a project in the pipeline for the indigenous people. Can you speak about that?
Well, I can't speak in details about it, but yes, as the project lead on that initiative, the concept note was endorsed. So right now, that's another reason why we are here. We are going to the community tomorrow to hear the community see the site, assess, what the ideas are for the project, and then we will be working closely with the 5Cs and the Julian True Society on how they will build on the funding proposal to be submitted to us.
Belize wrapped up a 3-day AML CFT conference today as global watchdogs keep a close eye on the country's financial system. The stakes are high. Belize needs clean, compliant banking to pay for imports, medical care abroad, and tuition for students overseas. Banking officials say the pressure is constant, and any slip could shake the entire financial sector. News 5 spoke with Heritage Bank's managing director, Steve Duncan, about what Belize must do to stay connected to the world's banking network.
The global sort of check on how you're doing, whether you should be part of the system or not, they test using AML and CFT capabilities and how you measure up in those areas. So how we measure up in those areas is very important to us as a country, beyond just a bank. In fact, the bank is specifically important because a bank could bring down a country. And so you want to make sure that not just the country as a whole, but the subparts, the individual components of the country actually also measure up. And that's why it's very, very important.
Some criticisms may be that the protocols to adhere to these sort of regulations, if you would, that they come about as bureaucratic red tapes, frustrating the processes that customers have to go through when engaging the bank.
Honestly, I feel that way too. And I would not disagree with such a position. However, what I will ask is that the general public be very patient and understanding, because those things and these things that we're doing, they're bigger than just the country. And while we may not like everything about it, they're frustrating, they add bureaucracy to the system. The truth is, if we want to play in a global environment, we have to do them.
Duncan says that while the rules can feel frustrating, Belize has little choice. Staying compliant is the only way to keep the country fully connected to the global banking system. Central American countries are teaming up to protect indigenous languages. Why this regional push matters now more than ever. Find out more in a few.
Unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Aiwa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Aiwa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from. such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Aiwa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Aiwa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Aiwa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
In the heart of the Kaya district, Calico Jacks is proving that sustainability and success can go hand in hand.
When Calico Jacks wanted to move to solar energy, the biggest difficulty for us was the finance. Belize Bank believed in our vision, and we are very happy and grateful that they gave us this opportunity for the financing.
Through the Credit Risk Abatement Facility, a partnership between Belize Bank and the CARICOM Development Fund, small and medium businesses can access financing for renewable and energy-efficient solutions with reduced collateral requirements.
Here at SCSB, we're grateful for Belize Bank to make it easier for our clients to go green. We're proud to work with businesses like Calico Jacks to help them lower their costs and their carbon footprint.
At Belize Bank, we are powering Belize's transition to renewable energy, one business at a time. Together with our partners, we're making sustainable financing accessible for all.
Belize Bank, financing a greener, stronger Belize.
For decades, BEL has powered Belize's growth and progress, lighting homes, energizing industries, and fueling national development. But in a world reshaped by extreme weather patterns, digital transformation, and evolving customer needs, the future of energy demands a new approach. The future of energy is now, and it's not just about new technology, it's about people and how we use, manage, and store power smarter. BEL is leading the transformation, blending modern advancements with the wisdom of sustainable energy practices. Integrating technologies will redefine how Belize produces and uses energy. With distributed generation and smart grid technologies, customers are becoming power partners. Energy is no longer a one-way street. BEL is making key investments that will reinforce the grid to make this a reality, ensuring energy security for generations. At BEL, we are more than an energy provider. We work to safeguard Belize's energy future, which will have demand response programs, where customers will be able to shift use during peak hours to take advantage of the new time of use or off-peak rate structures. Customer energy portals, real-time insights and tools to track usage and manage energy smarter, smart metering, advanced metering infrastructure, faster, safer service and actionable energy insights, distributed generation, integrating rooftop solar, microgrids and battery storage for two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Excuse me, my data done and I really need to get my ad out today.
Really? Well, you can join our Smart Group plan.
Really? How that works?
Easy, let me tell you.
Whether it's family, friends, or your small business, we've got the perfect plan for every group. More members equals more savings, more connections. Smart Group plans bring the connectivity you love to you and your circle. No one gets left behind. Explore Share One package option and add on unlimited data, calls, and SMS for the entire group for less than $50 per member. Visit any Smart showroom countrywide or email sales@speednet-wireless.com to sign up today. Smart, bringing people together.
Caribbean leaders jumped straight into business today as their regional summit gets underway. And all eyes are on their high-stakes meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. But before anyone takes a seat at that table, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness is already steering the conversation, reminding the region and Washington that CARICOM was never built to be a political union. He says the treaty that binds the 15 member states doesn't require a single foreign policy or any authority standing above individual nations.
The cracks that appeared in recent months resurfaced on Tuesday night as the Caribbean Community CARICOM leaders gathered under a dome-style facility for the ceremonial opening of the 50th regular meeting. Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness set the ball rolling by reminding his colleagues as well as the international community that the 15-member CARICOM is and has never been claimed to be a political union. As a result, he says, the CARICOM Treaty does not mandate a singular foreign policy or a supernatural authority.
The question before us, therefore, is not whether CARICOM can endure, for we have and we will, but whether it can deliver for our people with urgency and relevance in a rapidly changing world. For decades, an idealized narrative around Caribbean integration, while well-intentioned, has framed perhaps unrealistic expectations within our respective populations. It has also, perhaps unintentionally, diminished the genuine strengths of our existing arrangement. An association of independent states bound not by uniformity, but by shared purpose, mutual regard, and a deep history of collaboration. CARICOM is not, and has never claimed to be, a political union. Our treaty does not mandate a singular foreign policy or a supranational authority. And because we are sovereign states, each accountable to our own electorates, we will at times assess risks differently, sequence priorities differently, or interpret geopolitical opportunities differently.
Peter Richards reporting for News 5.
As the world marked International Mother Languages Day this weekend, Belizean voices were right at the center of a major regional milestone. Cultural leaders from across Central America gathered in Guatemala to launch a historic initiative, the Indigenous Language Plan for Central America, a coordinated effort to protect and elevate the languages that hold our region's identity together. Here at home, Belizean representatives played a key role. Rolando Cocom of the Institute for Social and Cultural Research says months of collaboration led to Saturday's launch, all aimed at giving Indigenous languages the visibility and safeguarding they urgently need. And from the University of Belize, Delmer Zib underscores why this work matters even more. Indigenous languages aren't only part of our heritage, they're a fundamental right. A right to speak your mother tongue, to share it openly, and to ensure it lives on through future generations.
Over the weekend, on Saturday, we celebrated as a global community International Mother Languages Day. And on that occasion, it was very special for us at the regional level within Central America because we convened in Guatemala to acknowledge and to launch a language plan called the Indigenous Language Plan for Central America. And over that event and throughout the past few months, we've been engaged with our Central American neighbors to assess the situation when it comes to indigenous languages in the region and to identify some common objectives that we can agree on to preserve, to promote, to give international visibility about the need for language safeguarding.
The interaction or the regional engagement for indigenous languages has started for months, and it's not something that just came about. We've been engaged with investigations on the situation in Belize along with other partners in the region. So we've been working along with the Ibero-American Indigenous Language Institute and learning really what is the context of the region. As it relates to the experience itself, I think there are two important messages to take from it. The first one is that indigenous languages are important for heritage, but the other element is that it is a right. It is a right that you have to speak your mother tongue. It is a right to share your mother tongue and to keep on transmitting it from generation to generation.
Belize's cultural work on the regional stage continues this week. Fresh off a Central American push to protect indigenous languages, Belizean cultural leaders are now joining a second regional effort, this time focused on Afro-descendant heritage. Representatives from the National Garifuna Council and the National Creole Council are taking part in a workshop that trains participants to document and preserve the oral traditions, stories, and community knowledge that define Afro-descendant life. Organizers say the goal is simple but urgent: equip local leaders with the tools to safeguard the intangible heritage passed down through generations, the kind you learn not from artifacts, but from your grandparents.
This workshop is about African descendant heritage and is one of the multinational projects of Central America about Afro-descendant and African descendant heritage. And the participants are the Garifuna National Council and the Creole National Council of Belize. There are representatives of the communities of the African descendant communities in Belize.
This workshop is very significant in terms of our participation regionally as Afro-descendants, with specific focus on documenting, as it's referred to, inventorying our intangible cultural heritage. Intangible cultural heritage as a whole represents, as it's called, intangible, the aspects of our heritage that can be passed on from generation to generation without the use of an artifact. So this speaks specifically to us as Afro-descendants, referring to our oral traditions and being able to learn the international methodologies to inventory our intangible cultural heritage, allow us to work closer with communities and preserve those age-old wisdoms that you can only get, in most cases, from your granny and your grandpa.
And as that workshop continues, Belizean cultural leaders say they're committed to keeping those ancestral stories and traditions alive for the generations coming next. Tonight, the Carnival Road March saga is far from over. What started as a missing third-place prize has now blown up into a wider fight over trust and transparency. On Friday, a band leader publicly challenged the Belize Carnival Association, questioning whether prize money was ever delivered to competing groups. The allegation quickly caught fire, raising eyebrows about how the organization handles its finances. Now, the Carnival Commission is stepping in. Member Elude Miller says the commission can't answer for every claim being thrown around, but he can clear up whether that third place prize was actually issued. And he breaks down how payments are supposed to move between the Commission and the Carnival Association.
Now, I can't speak to the allegations that were made directly, but again, we work
in tandem with the Belize Carnival Association. And I must highlight that, I mean, Carnival is bigger than, any one individual, any one group. It's bigger than me, any member of the commission, right? It belongs to the people of Belize. And so our only focus remains on unity, collaboration, and ensuring that we could deliver a safe and successful celebration. Now, in terms of that specific allegation that you cited earlier, I can confirm that a third place prize for that specific category was not issued to the Carnival Association nor to any of the bands. How it works is that the Carnival Association usually informs the NCC of the winners of the respective categories, and the NCC would remit direct payments to those bands that are to be awarded. And so in that case, on the advice of the association, because they did not meet a specific threshold, it was agreed that a third place prize for that category would not be issued. And so in that instance, the NCC did not make any payments to any bands, given that no bands qualified under the advice of the association. None of the bands qualified to be rewarded that specific prize. No? And so those monies were not issued by the NCC.
Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, transport overhaul leaves terminal workers uneasy. Manuel Ikala commented, "Let's wish the best for all working Belizeans. Everyone needs to work in order to survive living in this world." On the topic, iconic Ruta Maya finish relocated. Fans push back. Daniel Rodriguez shared, "Best solution to get their attention is to boycott the race. Boat paddlers and spectators. Ruta Maya cannot happen without the paddlers. Maybe so, they will get the message." Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.